There's a different kind of buzz in the air today. It's not just another Thursday. It's match day at Celtic Park. A big European night under the lights. And despite all the noise around the club lately, this evening has the potential to be one of those special ones. Braga's the opponent. The Europa League is the stage. And the Celtic crowd, well, they're gearing up to make themselves heard from the very first whistle. Or, at least, that's the hope now that the silence is over. And that's where the real story starts. Because while all eyes are on the pitch tonight, the real drama over the past few days hasn't come from goals or tactics. It's come from the stands. The planned silent protest by the Celtic fans collective was set to stretch over 3 matches, including tonight's game. 29 minutes of silence in protest of how the club's being run. But in a late twist, everything changed. Just before 9:30 last night, the Celtic fans collective released a statement confirming that the club had finally reached out. Celtic invited fan organizations to a sit-down meeting scheduled for Monday, the 6th of October. The collective, along with various official supporters groups, accepted the invitation, a move that many see as a direct response to the pressure created by the silent protests. The result? Tonight's protest is off. Postponed officially. Called off in good faith, hoping the club is ready to communicate honestly and make some much-needed changes at board level. The statement didn't shy away from the bigger picture, either. It made it clear that, while this meeting is a step forward, fans are not under any illusion that all problems will suddenly be solved. The message was loud and clear. This is about accountability, communication, and a long-overdue relationship reset between the board and the supporters. And while the protest has been paused, the campaign continues. This is just the beginning of a broader movement pushing for real, meaningful progress within Celtic Football Club. Interestingly, the invitation email from the club didn't actually reference the Celtic fans collective by name, which raised a few eyebrows. But regardless of the wording, the key point is that dialogue is finally opening up. On Monday, representatives from the club, including Michael Nicholson and Chris McKay, will meet face-to-face with leaders from several fan organizations. The Affiliation of Registered CSCs, Association of Irish CSCs, Boys Celtic, the Disabled Supporters Association, CSCs from the north of Ireland, the Celtic Trust, and of course, the Green Brigade. Each group will send up to 2 delegates. Now, for the rest of us who won't be in that room, the hope is that the outcomes of this meeting will be shared in detail. Maybe not by the club officially, let's be realistic, but certainly by the fans involved. Nobody's expecting miracles from one conversation, but it could be a turning point. A chance for the board to show they're finally listening, and a chance for the fans to be heard, not just seen. Credit where it's due, the protest clearly worked. You might not agree with the silence, and many didn't, but it's hard to argue with the result. The board has been pushed into action, and if it wasn't for the unity among the fan base, this meeting probably wouldn't be happening. It's a reminder of the power of collective action in football. When the stands are unified, the boardroom listens. There's even talk from the collective about shifting future actions away from silence. They hinted that this 3-match protest package was a one-off strategy and that any future demonstrations will be more inclusive and impactful in different ways. One idea already floated is a day of action at a home game against Kilmarnock around the time of the club's annual general meeting. Keep an eye on that. It could be another major moment in this story. From a purely footballing point of view, tonight's game feels like a chance to refocus. A proper European night, a solid crowd expected, maybe around 45,000, and a real opportunity to build momentum in the Europa League after that gritty draw in Belgrade. And the good news? The fans will be behind the team from kickoff. No silence, no awkward atmosphere, just full backing from the start, which, given what's on the line, could make all the difference. Brendan Rodgers, of course, was asked about the protest in his press conference before the news broke. At the time, he said he hoped both sides, fans and club, could sit down and sort things out respectfully. Classic Brendan. Calm, diplomatic, but hopeful. And now that such a meeting is actually happening, you'd imagine he'll be relieved. Because while his job is to focus on the football, he knows better than anyone how much the mood in the stands affects the players on the pitch. And as for the football, Brendan seems up for it. He spoke about the team looking to build on what was a pretty decent result away to Red Star. He knows Braga are no pushovers. They've got quality, experience, and a bit of bite. But this is the kind of stage where Celtic need to perform. Rodgers might not have the Champions League platform this year, but he's made it clear he sees value in this competition, and he's right to do so. One of the more interesting moments from his presser was his praise for young Kobe Donovan. "Frightened of nothing," he said, and it's that sort of mentality you want on a night like this. If Donovan starts tonight, it'll actually be his first appearance at Celtic Park in the starting lineup. So far, all his starts have been away from home. Big occasion for him if he gets the nod. Rodgers also gave updates on a few other players. Rio Hatate is back in training after missing the weekend game. Alistair Johnston should rejoin training just after the international break, aiming for the Dundee match. And Austin Trusty's also back and pushing for fitness. Slowly, the squad is getting healthier. Midfield remains the big question mark. It's been the weak spot so far this season, and while Rodgers didn't confirm anything, the expectation is that we'll see the usual trio of Callum McGregor, Odin Thiago Holm, and Hatate, assuming he's fully fit. If not, we might see someone like Paulo Bernardo or Daniel Kelly stepping in. Rodgers did mention Bernardo specifically, noting that the Portuguese midfielder has had a tough time with injuries, but is now fully fit and pushing for more minutes. He's come off the bench in a few recent games, and there's a sense he could become a more regular figure in the coming weeks. And honestly, with the way things have gone in the middle of the park, it wouldn't be the worst idea to shake things up a bit. Bernardo brings something different. He's calm on the ball, sees the game well, and just might be the creative spark this midfield has been crying out for. Up front, there's a bit more optimism. Kelechi Iheanacho is expected to lead the line again. He showed his class in the last European outing and seems to be settling in well. Out wide, we'll likely see Dyson Maeda on the right, where he did well against Hibs, and Sebastian Tank on the left. Tank has quietly been one of the bright spots in recent weeks. Along with Iheanacho and Donovan, he's given fans a bit of hope that this team can grow into something. That's what tonight is really about. Not just the result, but momentum, confidence, finding the belief again. Because let's be honest, it's been a rough few weeks. The Champions League exit, the boardroom drama, the silent protests, injuries, all of it has weighed heavy. But a win tonight, a good performance, and the right kind of noise from the stands, it could mark the start of something new. And speaking of the crowd, ticket sales have actually been pretty strong. From a distance, the online map might make it look like there are loads of seats left, but when you zoom in, you see most of them are just isolated singles. Some areas, especially the higher rows, aren't even on sale to the general public, likely held back for season ticket holders with match packages. So, while it won't be a full house, it should still feel like a big crowd. 45,000 or more would be a real statement given everything going on, and especially considering the unusual early kickoff at 5:45. And now that we're finally turning the page on the off-pitch drama, at least for now, attention shifts fully onto what happens between the lines. Because as much as the protest and the boardroom politics have dominated the headlines, it's the football that will always speak loudest. And Celtic need to start making noise on the pitch again, especially in Europe, especially tonight. The predicted starting 11 for Celtic doesn't bring too many surprises. Brendan Rodgers seems set on trusting the same defensive unit that played in Belgrade. Kasper Schmeichel in goal, with Kobe Donovan and Kieran Tierney as the full-backs, and the center-back pairing of Cameron Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales. Now, while there might always be nerves before a European fixture, there's a growing sense of trust in this back line. Donovan continues to impress with his maturity and composure. Hard to believe he's only just breaking through. Scales has steadied himself after a shaky spell earlier in the season, and Carter-Vickers is, well, Carter-Vickers. Solid as ever. Tierney brings energy and experience. It's a group that's starting to gel, and there's hope they can hold firm tonight against a tricky Braga side. Midfield is where the spotlight really falls, though. There's no sugarcoating it. The engine room has struggled this season. Too slow in transition, too predictable in possession, and lacking the kind of drive you need in a European fixture. Callum McGregor continues to be the heartbeat, but even he has looked a bit worn at times. The expectation is that Odin Thiago Holm and Rio Hatate will line up alongside him, assuming Hatate's fully fit after returning to training. If he's not ready to start, someone like Odin Holm or even Daniel Kelly could step in. But whoever it is, that midfield trio has to show something tonight. Control the tempo, protect the defense, get the ball forward quickly, and give the attackers something to work with. There's been plenty of chatter around Paulo Bernardo as well. The Portuguese midfielder hasn't had many chances this season, but Rodgers spoke positively about him. He's now fully fit and slowly getting back into rhythm after dealing with injury issues. If he comes off the bench again tonight, it'll be the third time in 4 games. Maybe not a headline maker yet, but definitely a player to watch. When a team's midfield is stuttering, sometimes you need someone with fresh legs and fresh ideas to step in. Bernardo could be that guy. Up front, there's more to feel good about. Kelechi Iheanacho, after a slow start, is beginning to show his pedigree. He's clever, mobile, and knows how to find space, something Celtic desperately need against European sides that defend deep. He looked sharp in Belgrade and will lead the line again tonight. Either side of him, Sebastian Tank and Dyson Maeda are expected to start. Maeda, playing from the right, brings his usual tireless energy, while Tank has quietly grown into one of the most reliable attacking threats in recent weeks. He's got the pace, the confidence, and he's starting to link up well with the midfield behind him. If Celtic are going to get a result tonight, it's likely going to come from moments of speed and precision in the final third. That's where this Braga side can be opened up. Their wingbacks like to bomb forward, which means they'll leave spaces behind if Celtic can move the ball quickly and isolate their central defenders. That's where Tank and Maeda could shine. Quick 1-2s, smart movement, and getting Iheanacho into dangerous areas. That's the game plan. But it's not going to be easy. Braga are no mugs. They're experienced in Europe and have players who can hurt you if given time and space. They'll likely set up in a 3-4-3 or possibly a 3-5-2, depending on how you interpret it. Brendan Rodgers thinks it'll be the former, and you'd back his eye for detail. Their defense is built around a back 3 that includes Gustav Lagerbielke, who of course is no stranger to Celtic Park. Alongside him are Saiko Niakate and Arian Bald. The goalkeeper is Mateusz Hornacek, a young but confident shot stopper. Their wingbacks, Gomez on the right and Leandro Lilo on the left, are key. When Braga have the ball, they push high and wide, essentially turning their formation into a 5-man midfield. But when they're defending, they drop deep and make it a flat back 5. That compact shape is hard to break down, but it also means there are gaps on the flanks if Celtic can switch play quickly and attack with pace. That's the challenge. Be quick, be brave, and don't let Braga settle into their shape. Further up the pitch, there's danger too. João Moutinho, at 39, might not have the legs he once did, but the class is still there. His vision, his calmness, and his experience in these kind of matches make him a real threat. Celtic can't give him time to dictate. Then there's El Hassan Uzani up front, a powerful presence who'll look to bully defenders and hold up play. And Ricardo Horta, Braga's captain and creative spark, will be drifting into pockets, trying to create chances from nothing. He's the kind of player who only needs one moment to punish you. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are swirling across Glasgow tonight, and if the noise is to be believed, Celtic may have pulled off one of the most unexpected swoops in recent memory. Reports suggest that Callum Hudson Odoi, once tipped as one of Chelsea's brightest young stars and most recently at Nottingham Forest, is on his way to Parkhead. While the club has not confirmed anything officially, the chatter from agents, insiders, and even some loose-lipped figures close to Lennox Down has set the green half of the city alight. Hudson Odoi's journey has been anything but straightforward. From dazzling bursts at Stamford Bridge to injury struggles, then the Bundesliga detour at Bayer Leverkusen, his career has carried a sense of unfinished business. His spell at Nottingham Forest showed flashes of his old self, but few imagined his next chapter might unfold in the Scottish Premiership. And yet, here we are, with word spreading that Celtic have moved decisively, aiming to add pace, trickery, and a touch of Premier League pedigree to Brendan Rodgers' side. For the Celtic faithful, the rumor alone is intoxicating. The thought of Hudson Odoi gliding down the left flank at Celtic Park, terrorizing fullbacks in front of 60,000, fits perfectly with the club's tradition of flair and wide attacking play. Questions remain, of course. Can he stay fit? Can he rediscover that fearlessness which once had him linked with Bayern Munich for eye-watering sums? But the romance of the move, the boldness of the attempt, has given the story real traction among supporters who have been clamoring for a statement signing. Skeptics in the Scottish media point to wages, consistency, and the unpredictable nature of such transfers. Yet, history shows that Celtic have not been afraid to gamble on talent that has drifted off the radar elsewhere, often reviving careers and reputations in the unique furnace of Glasgow football. Until the official announcement drops, it remains a rumor, a buzz, a piece of pub chatter echoing louder by the hour. But if it materializes, it could be one of those signings that changes the mood, the season, and perhaps even Hudson Odoi's career. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.